way we discovered cancer was we went to see my daughter, and she brought to my attention that I was jaundiced and that I was yellow, and I didn't even know what that meant at the time. And we went to the emergency room right away. We went to 4 different emergency rooms, and finally we got a specialist, and he said, I don't know what you have, but he said you have some sort of cancer. That was devastating to us. You just don't want to hear the C word. The early experiences we had with cancer were basically just the uncertainty, the lack of knowledge, and we ran into several scenarios that we were in an area that the doctors weren't familiar with, any sort of bile duct cancer, anything to do with the bile, any sort of the symptoms that we had. We went to specialists, we had lots of tests, ran lots of scans. Nobody could pinpoint what the problem was, which just added to the frustration because I was getting sicker and sicker. We got to the point where we had just had enough of, we don't know, we don't know, we don't know. The turning point for us was when we went to see the surgeon that they had finally decided we needed a Whipple procedure, and just having read on the internet and everything that was available to us, we knew that it was a scary prognosis, certainly a Whipple procedure was, but we also knew that there were people capable of doing it and capable of doing it correctly. We actually had a friend of ours that had cancer. She said, well, we have a real good surgeon and we have some real good treatment options that we've been using at University of Florida, Shands. I have a Dr. Zlotek. She said, let me contact him. And she did, and his secretary was the one that stepped in and actually referred us to not just Dr. Hemming, but the whole department at Shands. And she said, this is where you need to go. All of a sudden, we came from being a burden to everybody to, you've got a problem, let's take care of it. And that was the way we were handled on the phone. I said, well, we're scheduled for surgery for 3 days. We've been waiting for months. They think I have bile duct cancer. I don't know what to do. Just every uncertainty in the world I threw at her. And the statement at the end was, just get here. We'll take care of you when you get here. And I can't tell you how just soothing that statement was. And at the time we lived in Sarasota, and we loaded up. We loaded up our family and we came. It's not like, we weren't, discovering the West or anything, but we just felt comfortable with that. Bring your problems here. Let's see what we can do with them. And they gave me hope that they could do something with them. So all of a sudden we felt like, well, we knew all the answers that Dr. Hemming was telling us. We already had it researched out, and we basically knew everything we were up against. But the difference was, instead of guessing and saying, well, I don't really know, we'll have to run a test, he gave us every correct answer. So every answer that came out of his mouth, we knew. And we asked him, we said, well, Dr. Hemming, what if, and he said, it's not just me performing the surgery. He said, we have a board. And he said, if there's something that I'm uncertain of, he said, we go and talk about it. And he said, and we'll come up with the answer. And that was the confidence. We'll come up with the answer, not we don't know, or we'll think about it, or we'll have to run a test. We know what we're doing. It wasn't just one person making a decision involving my life, which at this point in time, I hate to say it's the most important to me. And it was everybody talking about it. So we knew that there wasn't going to be a mistake made. Within 2 weeks, we were on the operating table and had the Whipple procedure. The top benefits in coming to Shands is just the track record, the experience of the staff, just everyone involved. I mean, in every facet of my cancer treatment. And it's not just the medical expertise, it's them knowing and understanding that my family is an important part of my treatment, and recognizing that. And you know, maybe there are people that their family isn't that important to them, but they recognize that with me. The joys that you go through because I'm not supposed to be here. The sometimes the bewilderment, the lack of understanding that, you know, Steve Jobs, Patrick Swayze had all the money, everything in the world, and they're not here from this disease, and I'm still here. So yeah, the joy of being able to have the time with your children, with your family that wasn't supposed to be here, to know my family's still here and I'm still part of it, to be able to come home, pet my dogs, work, do things that I just wasn't supposed to be able to do, is bewilderingly awesome. Yes, I go for my CT scans, I go for my blood work. Dr. George calls me and wants to say hi, and I'm apprehensive. What do you want? You know, and you go through all those emotions. You go for a CT scan, that little black cloud hangs over you for a week till you get the results. There's a lot of feelings that never go away, but boy, to be here, this in February will be 7 years after my Whipple procedure. I'm sorry, I just don't have a description of it. It is unearthly. It's just, you know, it's just amazing.